filters in place. There we go. Good morning. Okay. Where'd we leave off? Oh, yeah, sanding. Yeah, I do all the sanding for Nick. It's all about Nick. Wool about the Nick. This has got to get fixed right there. Hey, Peter. Good morning and happy Friday to you, brother. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some of this cleaned up a little bit here. Sharpened up those old edges. Last day before vacation. Nice. Hey, Nick, good morning. That's cool. I'm doing well. Doing all right. No major complaints. Well, the ones we talked about last night. No, things are fine. You know, Friday, go to work. Just get through the day. And, then we hit the weekend. Tonight, my daughter and I are theoretically going to be starting to paint the Batman background, the cloud background. She wants to do some airbrushing, so we're going to experiment a little bit with that tonight. Pretty excited about that. That's it. Yeah. How are you? So, Peter, you don't have to say, but can I ask where you may be going for vacation? Is it, are you doing a staycation or are you traveling? And again, you do not have to answer if you don't want to. There we go. I'm going to the model chamber here in. Okay, so it's a staycation. We got that. Okay. That's awesome. I love it. Good for you, Peter. Live again. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, Light? Yeah, this is my usual. This is every morning. I've been doing this for over 5 years now. Recently transitioning over to YouTube. Yeah. My daughter came back yesterday after the live stream. Just kind of kicked back. Like I said, working on So I ever watched a little TV. I don't remember what the hell I watched, to be honest. Just kind of kicked back, really. And then my daughter came home fairly late from Derby, and it was interesting. She had a really rough day yesterday because she just wasn't physically feeling well at all. And she comes back from Derby and she's got this big smile on her face, and she just had such an awesome time. Is that the first leg? This is the first leg. Yep. So what I'm trying to do, Nick, is just trying to get some reshaping of, if you take a look at the angle, just trying to get that angle returned after sanding it down and eliminating the angle that was there. Just trying to get it all fixed up. So it's the first leg. Anyway, so she came back last night and she was all pumped up. She said, I had a great time. They're really good people. I'm really enjoying it. She's been doing this now for, how many sessions has she been to? 10, 11? Doing YouTube, I think, can definitely be a rabbit hole for many people. Good that you kept a handle on 5 years. Oh, yeah. I think yeah, Layla. I've got two. I've got a younger daughter who's graduating high school and an older daughter who graduated college last year and is living with us and working from home. And it's my older daughter who is the roller derby queen. I'll call her a princess because she's working up to being a queen. So, but yeah, I think part of it is, this is why it's like, I've always said, if you're looking to, do this YouTube channel as, watch this YouTube channel as somebody who's an expert at modeling, there are better places to go. I'm really good at what I do, but I'm not world class. But what I am is somebody who does this consistently because I want to hang out with people. My beautiful spaceman yesterday can get fucked. For today will be my bitch. Joe. Nice. Yo. Casey Samasco's in the house, otherwise known as Ken. Roller derby princess to become a queen. Yes, exactly. Yeah, she's having a great time. And tomorrow, she and I are going back to a place called the Bruised Boutique. Talk about like the best name ever. The Bruised Boutique. That's the skate shop that she goes to up in southern New Hampshire. That caters to, I guess, a lot of roller derby types. The Derby movie with Linda Blair. I think there was. The one that I think got her curiosity piqued was obviously Whip It. Joe, Ken, Nick, Peter, Lygie. I got him. That's the one that got her curiosity piqued on it. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was one with Linda Blair. And somehow that's kind of ringing some truth. Joe, Peter, George, Light, hi, Swim. I love all the hellos. Hello. Okay. Let's get this little bulbousy area right there. John Boy, can't forget him. Right, Joe. Okay. There we are. I think that's good enough. Good enough. Under, over, out, done. Exactly. So it is Friday. get home tonight, like I said, do a little bit of cooking, and then we're going to, like I said, my older daughter and I are gonna get to the model bench, get some airbrushing done. Maybe watch a movie tonight if I can stay awake long enough. Now that my server's kind of coming back up. TGIF, you mother lovers. At some point, I might start doing a little bit of not only cleaning up down here, but organizing the shelf queens. I do want to get through building some of these things to the point of like full finish, like get them done. I got the tank, I've got the task, I've got the SD Gundam, SD Macross kit, I've got the the Harpy, the Gundam Mark II original, the freebie Gundam. I mean, it's like I know all of them, right? Just about all of them. The O, which is still on paint sticks somewhere around here. We got plans for this live again. I was wrong. It was called Roller Boogie, some kind of disco on skates. Blair was in it though. Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar. Roller disco. Gotta love it. Mostly rearranging the house. Is that what you're doing, Light? Nice. Kind of reminds me of the law firm of Ditcher, Quick and Hind. Nice. Yeah, I'll mow the lawn this week. Do some yard work, kind of like what Light was describing. There's be some yard work that's done. But my goal, do a trail walk if the weather is cooperative. Right now, our weather here has been atrocious. Even just trying to get I might try to get the bikes cleaned up, broken out. Got to organize my shop and music areas. They're kind of a disaster zone. Oh, yeah. I've got my music area kind of like the theater looking better than it's looked in a long while. Still got a few things to clean up in there. But I'm pretty happy about that. I can now go in there and actually watch a movie. And not look at like junk everywhere. But I got a few more boxes just to kind of get organized. And the theater, by the way, it's my music room. It's where I got my turntable, all that good stuff. Might need to fire up some vinyl. Maybe I'll fire up some vinyl this weekend. Ooh, that would be nice. It's been a while. Funky Town by Lips Inc. is great, Rose. Of course it is. I need to get my bench back in order. Yeah. How's the cleanup work going now that you've kind of got everything almost back in action? Does it look better because it has dendrobium sprinkled around? No, it doesn't. Though the dendrobium is actually not taking up a lot of space, though. It's obvious. It looks like what kind of weird plastic statue is that? Don't get me wrong. It's not the theater area is not perfect because I've got a bunch of comics under a blanket, meaning like a bunch of comic boxes. Like how many? 10? Yeah, 10. And that's only a fraction of the collection. The other stuff is still in storage. But I've got the dendrobium, what's been completed of it, sitting on top. I got to tell you, I'm almost to the point where I might have to take a little bit of a Sunday break, even though I haven't been working on it most Sundays. I might take a little break from the dendrobium. It's just like right now, just that getting those parts together last weekend just wasn't fun. So yesterday I got a correction form from work, and so did my boss as well. A correction form. A correction form. Is that what they're calling them now? I love the new euphemisms. So not dead comedians you're hiding? No, I don't think so. Do I have any dead comedians? There might be some dead comedians back there. I haven't looked closely enough. Doing some hunting for axis deer and maybe some bird watching. Nice. And by bird watching, what does that constitute? Do you actually go out there and use a camera to take photos of them, or and do you catalog them, a la what we saw in the that recent Netflix show? The Residences, the Residents, is that what it was called? Pretty funny show. There we go. I haven't seen Gallagher in a while. He hasn't been around in a while. I'll have to go check. Sounds like fun. I got Howie Mandel chained to my radiator. Nice. If my wife is a birder, it will be binoculars and cataloging. Yeah, nice. That's cool. See, I like what your wife is doing. She's actually going out there and observing and watching. Fly, be free. Les, come down to the dinner table. I'm joking with you, Nick. Think you a birder? I would say his wife certainly is. Enjoy the Residence. It has a Wes Anderson. Oh, it definitely had a Wes Anderson feel to it. Actually, I was kind of wondering if he was involved in that production. I love watching birds. I don't know if I can do it for very long, but I certainly appreciate. Keep looking over here. Am I? Not sure if it's like a floater that I got or if it's something crawling on my desk. Either way. Anyway. We have to peace out. Have a great day, guys. Peter, you too, brother. Enjoy your weekend if we don't see you, and certainly your vacation. Oh, we have the best migratory path, only about an hour from us on the coast. Wow. Yeah, that's true. You do, don't you? Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, nice. That's awesome, Nick. Hey, Peter. Scan. I think there may be a reason for her since she is pregnant to maybe get a lawyer since they told her this is a write-up since you will be gone. Ha! And we have a in the neighborhood. Fucker is big. Later, Peter. Later, Peter. All right. Yeah, I would say that could be interesting, Joe. Lawyer up. Okay. Now we're going to do some seam filling later. We worked on this area yesterday. I think we got that kind of cleaned up enough. Later, Peter. I got a few downy woodpeckers in my front tree this time of year. That's cool. I have no idea what that is, but that sounds cool. So we're getting lots of organizational changes there, like mini politics and even closer harm. Hopefully things go okay for you. Yeah, for you and your boss, especially. Nothing like targeting pregnant women, right? Yeah, it is the American way, I guess. Okay. Hey, Richie, good morning. How are you? Excellent. Yes, you. I have printouts. I have been preparing for a minute. Yep. Years ago, I can't remember who it was. Somebody was talking, just watching somebody's video about, the off fix for an aggressive seam line is filling, and their response has always been no. You eliminate the seam line as much as possible and use the least amount of filler that you can. I obviously I see things both ways, but I'm working more towards eliminating this by sanding it down rather than gap filling it with something later on. Good. Is it 10 a.m. yet? It's pretty damn close, Richie. 3.5 hours away. That means the majority of your Friday workday is done, baby. Used to be the American way to chop an asshole who stepped funny to a pregnant lady. That was the American way. I would actually counter that, Joe. I would say certainly prevent a pregnant lady from being harmed in any way. I don't remember the throat chop part. That's a little violent. But I agree with that latter point. That is true. Happy Friday, everyone. Mike, happy Friday to you too. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Fantastic. So as long as sanding the seam won't change the shape, otherwise it gets all the filler. Yeah, that's one of the things that I think, Nick, is I've been, as you rightfully observed, I do a lot of sanding, and I think what you do is you develop techniques for how to try to keep the shape as much as possible, right? Because you don't deform the part. Now, there's going to be obviously some deformation, flat spotting a rounded surface, which is why you have to change up your technique to not allow for that to happen, or to minimize how much of that happens, right? But I agree with you. Again, that comes down to, again, technique. But there is going to be some level of gap filling here. In fact, looking at the way this gap here filled up, it's funny. You can almost tell when a gap that fills up is because there wasn't enough glue there, or it did get glued, but it just didn't, I don't know how to best explain it. That one that just didn't have enough glue, and one that had enough glue, but it still left too much of a trough. You have on the bench. Yeah, you can look for it. It was on AliExpress. Is it still on AliExpress? Who the fuck knows? This is, I think, pretty good for not necessarily surfaces like this, even though this is pretty good. It's more for getting into some tighter corners and spots that are rounded, which I found actually works quite well. This to me is like for what I'm working on right now, which is basically the calf of this thing. It's not a problem. Still there, but not available to U.S. customers. Yeah, it's one of those, right, dude? It's like I keep going on AliExpress's website or site, excuse me, their app. I go there every day just to kind of do like the coins thing. It's like a game. I'm almost up to 30 days now consistently, and I don't know why, because everything has either gone up significantly in price, or the majority of the stuff, like over 90%, is not available. All right. And I play the game every day. Every day. So Meng is introducing a new model in the 1/72nd scale, their seventh. It's the Russian T-72. What are they called? T-72B3M, I think is what it is. So it's like the latest generation of T-72. And that model, if it were like the Merkava or the little the American rocket truck, would have been, I don't know, $15, $18, $19. I mean, the Merkava I picked up shipped to my house for $14. And this this T-72 is 26. So, is that tariff impact? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. I'll let you be the judge of that. Once again, the tariffs are impacting us on a daily basis. They're impacting everybody, but they're impacting us financially on a daily basis. Sorry to put it that way, but that's the way it is. Galactic Toys always got sales. You just told me function not available for my last comment. What was your last comment? Really? So what the hell does that mean, Nick? That's wild. Yeah, that Michael's $89. Yep. Yeah, they got sales, Richie, and that's a good thing. And Galactic Toys has been great for a lot of stuff in the past. I don't see as much MadWorks stuff there as I once did, but every now and then they come out of the woodwork with some really great stuff. The bases I got for the Batman 1935 diorama, that's where I got them from at a really good price. But here's the thing, Richie, that same model is manufactured in China. I haven't looked to see if it's available here by any of the U.S. Retailers, like say like a Sprue Brothers or a Andy's Hobby Headquarters or Michigan Toy Soldier or whatever. But I'm going to take a guess that if they're selling at a substantially increased rate in China, it isn't going to be cheaper here. Remember, 140, I'm sorry, we're now 30%. 30% tariffs. I like Galactic Toys. They ship quickly too. Yeah, they're really good. Oh, very much. They just don't carry a lot of the stuff that I'm as much interested in now, which is too bad. I've been using a lot more of Michigan Toy Soldier because they have a lot more of the supplies that I like. AK paints, though I don't typically haven't needed to buy many paints recently. AK paints, a lot of the RP Tools stuff. And they've got VMS, which I gotta tell you, I like their products. I'm gonna try to experiment a little bit more with their stuff. There's a fine one that isn't that expensive, big name brands. Yeah, weird. $89, Monica's can lick balls. They can, but I guess the question is, are they out of line? I don't know. I don't follow a lot of Gundam pricing, But what was it? I mean, look at how much the MGVO is. How much is the MGVO? Like $140 now? Fuck. I remember when You can get an MG, the Suzabi Verca for like right around 100. And I can't imagine that the O, and the O was never as that expensive. And now it's like insanely expensive. Now I'm sure that there are cost increases for raw materials and all that stuff. And I'm sure the tariffs are also doing what they do. Yeah, they are out of line. Used to be like 80, 90. I can't justify almost 150. Yeah, there you go, Ray. Thank you for because you're probably more in tune with that. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. I think the out of line part, Richie, is this is going to be the new norm until markets stabilize. Um, and I don't know that we're going to have a good answer to that anytime soon. My fear is something I heard, once people get used to certain prices, well, they're paying it now. Let's just keep it there. It's not going to be, let's bring our prices down. Well, this is what it's become, so we're going to keep them there, and the profitability of a company goes up. I hope that's not the case. I'm taking it easy with what I buy. Yeah, same here. $150 is toothy. PhD money. Yep, I agree. I think it's insane. Yeah, I think what it's done is, and maybe, it does give us the opportunity to reassess. And this is something that I will, I know it's going to sound a little, our prices will never go back down. Agreed. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, exactly. Once it's there, even if the tariffs come down, welcome to the new norm. Have extra shifts at the intersection. I think you're probably right, especially if you want one of those at the intersection. That's a running joke that Ken panhandles on the intersections. Um, never go back down. Agree. Pick the bad day to stop sniffing glue. Right. I think it does give us the opportunity to reassess the stuff that we want. I think it's an individual decision. This is the one place that's like, I've commented about this, and I'm not going down the politics route, but I want people to listen just for a second. I think what our president has done and the destruction that it has created, and it's destruction, let's be honest, okay, does give us the opportunity for the moment to at least assess, do I need this? And I think that's a good conversation for us to have. At the same time, don't force the decision upon me. And I think that's the unfortunate part of this. So that's as far as we're going down the politics route. And for me personally, I think it's good. I start to question, do I need that? So I look at the cart that I have on my AliExpress cart as in particular, right? I think there were like 4 or 5 models there, including another Mirage Dassault 2000, which I loved the water slides that came for it. But I look at that and it's like, is it worth what it used to be around $30 or so? Is it worth the 55 now? And the answer is no. Oh, by the way, it's not even available. Or there's another Great Wall missile carrier that I was interested in. Is it worth the 30, 40, 50%? It's actually more. It's probably 70, 80% upcharge. And the answer is no, it's not. The Meng T72. Would I pay $26 for that thing? I really enjoyed the Meng model, so it's like I might wait and see. At the same time, it's like I might just pull the trigger, but it gives us the opportunity to reassess. I just don't like the fact that it's forced upon us. So hog heaven starts on the 24th, yeah, but who needs hogs? I want a hog. We're talking about the oink oink type, right? Not the motorcycle, the vroom vroom type, right? That's tomorrow, Ray. The unfortunate thing is we're going the opposite way. We're going up to New Hampshire tomorrow, my daughter and I. I am going to the American Heritage Museum first. I think I'm going to go, depending on how the weather is. Hog is a funny word, isn't it, though? I love that word. I love hog. What a great word. American Heritage Museum tomorrow. They actually have a tank display. The tanks are going to be running. And we, as scale modelers, Patriot is going to have a table there to display some of the models that we built in hopes of both introducing people to the hobby as well as seeing if anybody would be interested in joining us. Well, last brick and mortar shop's closing is set. 100%. We still have Gundam Galaxy and Time Machine, but that's about it. Yeah. Well, you got a couple places further south, but you're right. It's getting harder. Brick and mortar hobby shops are becoming very few and far. And it's unfortunate. I still think that there's a business model for that. And Mike can certainly chime in here. I think there's a complete business model for a hobby shop that caters to keeping your customers there. This is why I think the gaming shops do very well, because you can game, go to That's Entertainment down the street, the comic shop. It's not even a comic shop, really. It's an everything shop now, right? That's how they succeed, or Gundam Planet down in Jersey. One of our last brick and mortars. I need some emotional support. Emotional support, Potbelly Pig. Oh, yeah, I'd love one of those. I just messaged the general manager of the Cross store about getting a little event going. Got to see what he does. Yep. Can somebody tell Gigi to get some good tools, paints, and accessories? Yeah. Agreed. It's not their forte, which is too bad. Yeah. They used to try to carry a few more tools, and they kind of pulled back on a lot of it, Ken. Yeah, it is unfortunate. You can buy that one. That one since spare time didn't work out. Maybe you can buy that one since spare time didn't work out. Buy which one? Hog Heaven? No. If I were to, I got to get back with a couple of guys. If I were to get into that as a hobby or as a business, I would follow more of the do what Gundam Planet is doing. Do what Mike is doing with Hobbytown, Clinton, New York. You find ways of getting people in and keeping them there. Yes, kind of like the GIMP, guys. You gotta make it a destination where people want to go and spend time there, and then they will buy. And you're going to see it. If people don't buy, if they're like, I'm going to come here, use your facilities at no charge, and I'm not going to buy shit from you, well, then it's like, all right, this is going away. Oh, I can't believe it's closing. What did you buy? Many years ago, there was a retailer in Cambridge, Mass. That closed. And I remember they were interviewing people, because it's been like around for 40 years or something like that. It was a furniture store. And they were closing because they were just like, it's just, businesses slow down to a point where it just doesn't make sense. And there were people out, they were interviewing this TV station was interviewing people about what their thoughts were. And one person said, yeah, I'm going to miss this place. It was a great place. We bought some furniture here like 20 years ago. It's like, that's why they close. If you don't support a business that you like, don't be surprised when it goes away. And it's funny that people are like, yeah, I can't believe it's closing. Are you out of your fucking minds? I'll come help with the RC stuff, and you can handle the publicity. They're opening an Hobby Lobby in Manhattan. Of course they are. Got to get those roots in. I sense mentions of RC. Of course you do. Anytime Ray's around, there'll always be a mention of RC. We're bringing back the Tamiya Mini 4-wheel. Oh, that's awesome. I love those little racers. Those are fun. I pull out mine every now and then, Mike, and I look at it, I'm like, I should paint this thing. It's so cool. Racing is getting a surge again. Go with it. I agree. The combination of like plastic modeling and racing, it is kind of cool. And I'm not a racing kind of guy. I'm going to say I'm not a racing kind of guy. They're great. Kit, Grasshopper, and Hornet 40th anniversary selection. True. Who are we talking about? I'm sorry, Ken. Who's got the great Kit, Grasshopper, and Hornet 40th anniversary? What's gotta go in there and just clean out some of that a little bit. Sorry, Splice 2 messages. GG has great kits. They have a lot of great kits if you're looking for a lot of anime properties, 100%. They did a whole bunch of retro kits. They did a nice line of their RC cars too. Tamiya makes all those. Yeah. Sorry, Splice 2 messages. GG has great kits. Yeah. It is Tamiya's Grasshopper and Hornet 40th anniversary. Got it. Okay, now I get it. I'm gonna do another one. Actually, it's a bit of a small local chain, but I will tell you, their kits are also pretty good. I like the Toy Vault, which is basically it's a used toy, new toy, card game. It's a retailer. It's imagine like a comic shop, but without comics. And that's kind of what they have. But they've got a very healthy selection of models, anime properties. But they also have a lot of stuff like from, yes, I'm saying it, Moderoid. But they also have a lot of stuff. They got plum kits. It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. They have many models from a variety of different people, and it's like, wow, that's kind of groovy. You know, anything that is, nothing historical. They of course have no tools per se, except for like really basic ones. But the Hobby Vault, it's really good. I don't know how well they do. RC are dated but fun. I swear they still use the same plastic from the 80s. They probably reformulated it in such a way to reflect the old plastic, right, Ray? Anyway. There we go. I'm just trying to create that groove, get a little bit more contiguous. I think we're there. Anything from here on out, I guess, will be filler. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at here. We're almost done here, by the way, with this. And I'm going to glue another piece together. Yeah, got about 10 minutes. That will probably make sense. Only time I bought some knockoff cheapo Tamiya for our funsies, installed a light, can't remember, but very powerful one. The frame literally shattered and the motor is fried. Yeehaw! Wow, that's a little hardcore. There we go. Not bad. Not good. Not bad. Let's get the inside of this cleaned up a little bit. Is Team Associated still around? That's a good question for Mike and for Ray. I would guess I would make my Timmy before I into the car from Dumb and Dumber. That would be kind of cool. I mean, that mini 4-wheel drive stuff is, it was, I mean, again, it was cool to watch. I bought one vehicle, which I thought was pretty cool. There's another one I'm kind of interested in. It's the Filipino bus. And that's kind of it. It's like, do I want to go out there and get the aftermarket stuff and build a little racer and that? No, I'm not that interested. Would I race it? Sure. I mean, I'd race it completely and utterly stock because, like I said, I just don't have any care otherwise. But that would mean I'd have to actually I'd do that only after I got the whole thing kind of completed to like the level that I'd want with painting and everything like that. And right now that isn't even on the agenda. So that ain't happening anytime soon. So going strong, even branched out into crawling with their own line. I always wanted one of the old Tamiya RC cars. Yeah. They're still around. Yeah, if you go over to Time Machine in Manchester, Connecticut. Yeah, actually, I was surprised. Like, wow, I think that's a pretty healthy selection of Tamiya shit. Very healthy selection. Or you go up to Ray and Robbins up in Maine, up in Portland, Maine. Wow. That's kind of nutty. The amount of RC up there, that's just nuts. Again, not my hobby per se, but it is cool to see. 1 second, guys. I'm just going to try to get this thing cleaned up a little bit. Lots of good conversation this morning about a hobby I'm not interested in. I love it. I'll pop over there real quick. Come on up. You always have a place to stay if you'd like to come up, Nick. I think you deserve one, Nick. I would agree. I'm not sure how close to Time Machine Nick is, but they have Bill Day on Saturday. We need to get you out to RC Madness. Are you talking about me? That's not going to happen. I'm not that interested. Nick, on the other hand, sure. Come on up, Nick. We'll do a little tour. Was so cheap. The plastic was light and the axle were thin enough to be bent with. Oh, absolutely. Which is probably why you had all that aftermarket shit, right? You get a cheap mini flatbed truck and race rate. Ooh, gauntlet thrown down. I'd be there to watch that. Get a little closer. Just trying to get this thing just a little more balanced. This area, this is like the shin guard. I'm sorry, the knee guard. I apologize. Just trying to get a little bit more balanced. When? Don't you remember I have loaners? I will 100% race K trucks whenever. Okay. Wow, difference in the thicknesses on these things. Wow, that's interesting. I might just scrape it away or carve it away. Me too, Ken. I've got a crawler already, but have the need for speed. George, you be the flag person between cars like the old days. I'll be that. I look good in the mini skirt. Are planes allowed? Why not? It's got a motor. It moves. Sure. After monsoon season. Jesus. Yeah, no shit about that. Okay. Let's thin out this plastic. Interesting how differently molded these things are. I'm going to carve this away. How much time I got? Time. I'm not going to get the other part glued together, but I am going to get this thing at least carved. In fact, we're going to scrape. It's looking better. We prefer fancy, but plain is okay. I am bring my custom AC 130. Sounds goody. Come on down. All right. Definitely an improvement. File it down. I do like my younger daughter now, of course, since she is about to graduate from high school and she no longer has to go into school. I like the fact that I don't have to head upstairs and get her all ready. Wow, it's interesting how different these parts are. But you know what? Just how they come together. It is not symmetrical. It should be, but it's not. And that's fine. Wow, that's crazy. Well, crawler, so I see when it's too busy to use it. If you're an member, I got a field you can fly at. There we go. Done. Done. We're going to run. We're going to run a little bit of thin cement around some of these areas, and then we're going to call it a session. Yeah. So if you just take a look at the back of the leg, right up there, you're going to see there's a gap. This one here, this is the one that's like, I don't think that there was enough glue used, and that's the reason why that came out the way it did. Interesting. So let's get that kind of cleaned up. Squeeze that together a little bit. Thin cement is like the best. Not only because because the other benefit, besides what it physically does, is it leaves a clear, a nice shiny surface. So when you're actually sanding, you know what you've gotten and what's left. It's just such a good product. Okay, so a little bit clean up in here. Massachusetts, that's a nice calf. Logical. Let's see. So thought on the new Gyan design from GQX. I haven't watched it to really say. Friday leg day, exactly. No. I have not watched it yet. I'm about to finish Victory. so I can watch it with Tom and Nina, the Gundam podcast. And then once that's done, I might try out the first episode of GQX. I don't know if I can call it GCux. It just doesn't sound right. Just gonna say, it just doesn't sound right. You know, for a guy who's also a mad fan of Thunderbolt, I've yet to watch the Thunderbolt anime. I've nearly read all of. I think I've got like 2 or 3 of the books left to finish. But wow, that was wild. Fly, be free. It snapped out of my fingers. Sniffing glue, exactly. It's twice we've done that. The kid's gone. George can Airbnb the extra rooms. Oh God, no. Oh God, I want to take over the rooms. Make a G-Gugs cheer for the kids. Yeah, I wonder about that too. Okay. So with that, we got glue down. We're going to leave it there, and we're calling it a session. I've been calling G-Cugs since day one. Yeah, it's a terrible name. I mean, this kind of strikes me as the stuff that Gundam was doing back in the 80s where they're giving people like these terrible names. It's like, how'd you come up with that name? What the hell's wrong with you? Good evening. Hello, everyone. Edwin, good evening. How are you, my friend? Turns to handle really that jazz, my friend. I know. Trust me. I've watched the beginning, the intro to it, but I've never watched the entirety of the series. But I will get to it. I want to get, like I said, I want to get through Victory. I'm still working on my server. There's plenty of stuff on my server I want to watch. Yeah, go from there. But anyway, with that, my friends, stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Thanks for being on this morning. I really appreciate it. Just woke up. We'll be reading tonight. Good for you, Edwin. I wish I was just waking up. I was just waking up. It was morning, not evening. Anyway, guys, go out there and do good. Crazy world. Absolutely insane world. We are living in a very challenged time right now. Go out there and brighten the world as much as you can for somebody, because it's up to us, not others, to get this thing fixed, right? Make somebody's day a better day, not a shitty day. Okay? Brighten somebody's day, help somebody out, put a smile on their face. Don't make it miserable. Okay? With that, I'll be back on tomorrow morning, same time, same channel. Enjoy the day. Love you all, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.